Before we go any further, the container that you grow in the shade garden, it's going to attract slugs and snails. But what you can do, because we don't want to kill the slugs and snails, what we want to do is, we want to obviously feed the animals in the garden. Now also that container in the shade is going to attract toads and frogs to actually nestle down underneath it. And if you put this on, it's called Slug Stopper. It actually stops the slugs in their tracks. It basically dries up the mucus. But hedgehogs, toads and your thrushes can come along and still eat them without being poisoned. So if you're going to if you've got hostas in the garden, that's the stuff. Get it round your hostas and it'll stop it. And also if you just have a look on the eViews site, you'll actually see I've used chicken grit that's used for making shells for chickens, and I've put that round hostas, which is fantastic. Obviously the one I rave about, as you all know, is Chempac number 4. Now this is a bit like a vitamin pill for us. It's got every trace element that you need to feed the plants. It's also got in there high potassium. Now potassium stimulates flowers. So if you give a plant all the trace elements and you give it potassium, you'll get more flowers, you'll get less foliage, and you'll get really strong flowers that last a lot longer. It's also fabulous for fruits and vegetables. But your container with all your green plants in, you want Chempac number 2. Because that's got nitrogen in it and less potassium, because you're not trying to stimulate flowering in there. So there's Chempac number 2. If you're going to buy any chemicals in the garden for the garden at the moment, that's for your flowering, and that wants to be for any sort of hostas in the garden. Absolutely fantastic chemicals. And remember, if you're going to use any pesticides, try and do it on an evening. If you're going to spray your plants, your roses, the bees are out during the day. We want to protect the bees. We want to protect the ladybirds. Use the sprays on the evening. Now I don't mean put your pyjamas on and go out midnight. All I mean is when it gets to dusk, when the birds have sort of settling down, when the bees have gone back to their hives and the ladybirds have disappeared, spray the green fly there, then get on top of them, and you will cause minimum damage and impact to obviously our friends of the garden. And remember, by putting bird feeds out as well in the garden and attracting birds into the garden and putting the right types of plants in, what you'll actually do is you'll bring birds into the garden, and blue tits, if you watch, you'll see them going around your roses like trapeze artists picking off the aphid. And I've just been raving at the moment about red hot poker. Beautiful border plant. I'm trying to get everybody to get it back in the gardens because it's disappeared. Stunning red hot pokers. The sparrows actually climb and they graze on the flower, and it also attracts a multitude of bees. But one of the bees that particularly likes it is the bee with the red bottom, the bumblebee with the red bottom. You'll see it, and they just love. And red hot pokers, what a stunning plant. Put it to the back of a border. Lovely tall flowers. It's an absolute gem. It's an absolute stunner. So don't forget the cards I give you tonight on eView. Have a look on there because it's all about the red hot poker on there as well. And thank you very much, ladies.